Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Educational Gamer and we are playing Strategic Command WWII as the Allies in war against the Axis. We are starting the year 1941 and it is looking increasingly likely that we are in a lot of trouble over here. I do spot a lot of German tank divisions over here, so that is a threat that is starting to assemble and that I do take very serious as the Soviet Union. As the UK, we are sort of pushing in Africa, little bit slowly going in East Africa due to the supply situation, and on the other hand sort of okay in China, so let's take the turn over here and see what is going on. Chinese morale is boosted a lot by the capture of Nanjing, which is of course one of the historical sites. Ooh. Joining the Free French, that's nice to see. Some fortresses being completed, that's also very good to see for the Soviets over here, and that is very nice. Also Yugoslavia does get pushed towards the Allies a little bit, that's also extremely nice. China getting more industrial technology, very lovely. All in all, that should mean that nationalist China is collecting more industrial points soon. Very good so far. Okay, the French miners actually have their own faction now, so sorry, the French miners. And here we go for the Axis turn. I do suspect that they will do a lot in China and that the threat along the border is going to increase. Although hopefully they are not going to start the war in the middle of winter yet. We also saw some submarines over here at Greenland that I sort of did ignore. Okay, some reinforcements going on. Oh, our position front over here is now isolated, and they'll probably attack this corps and gonna annihilate it, I think. But we did want to reduce the supplies flowing into Beijing. What's happening over there? Not sure. I think they tried to bomb something. The other corps is losing out a little bit. And here we go, the first German attack. Didn't do much, but there we go, some tanks coming in and doing a lot more to us than the other infantry attack did. Yeah, so this is Rommel's Africa Corps, very famous of course. Germans bringing into position a lot of units over there, and they're starting to push out a little bit over there. New headquarter unit over here that is increasing their supply, so we do need to be mindful of that. This is already 3 armies and a corps. Well, I do hope that the Germans are spending a lot on defending these things. We are disrupting their supplies coming in from Norway. It's nice, but not necessarily crucial for us right now. Calculating supply for us, so that should be our turn. Not much happening over there. Some intel. Berlin. This is not too crucial. Oh, there we go. Italian battleship. And we do get some info. So intel from the Kingdom of Yugoslavia shows that the regent is about to sign the Tripartite Pact and join the Axis. If we wish to stop him from doing so, then we need to act now, and an opportunity to do so has fortunately presented itself, as his nephew is planning a coup. Peter II is totally opposed to the Axis, and his success will inevitably bring Yugoslavia into conflict with the Axis. And with our help, he may be able to increase his armed forces in time to offer significant resistance towards the enemy. It will cost us 60 points for 2 turns. What exactly would that do? Yugoslavia will join the Allies. If Greece has not yet entered the war, it will swing 30 towards the Allies. Germany will lose a lot morale points, but will regain them should Yugoslavia surrender. If we don't do that, they will simply get out 1,000 national victory points. It is a difficult choice because overall Yugoslavia is utterly untenable. We can't defend this at all, and it will simply be overrun. Of course, it would disrupt the German forces for at least a while, and that might be the time that the Soviet Union needs. So we are in fact going to say yes. And there we are, the pro-Allied coup. Greece mobilizes, that's also nice to see. Yugoslavia prepares for war. And that is it actually for this turn over here. So that does bring us towards acting out our forces. So in the Chinese south, as always, we might do our attack against the headquarter unit over here. Very good attack. Did lose 3 pips over there. Could restart our attack over here, but I think actually we want to start out with Canton over here. Hopefully disrupt that army. Yeah, I'm gonna shatter it even, or destroy it. And that means we can move into Canton, which should not only decrease their supply, very crucially I think it's gonna improve our supply situation by a lot. I guess these guys can move towards the street so that they can be moving in a little bit more easily next time. Oh, actually I should start with these guys over here. So set mode, you are on auto assist, so that's fine. So I would ideally, you know what, I guess we can detach these guys. I'm surprised that you can't even reach this far. We want to attach this army though. It does leave us with all of these guys down here. And you know what? We are going to detach this army and going to attach this army next time. And that should be fine. Good. So, next questions. Do we attack over here? This is reducing their strength by a bit. Yeah, let's do it. Ooh, that was not a good attack force. Yeah, but we can at least bring their attacks a little bit more close towards home. Reinforce you so that ultimately we can swap out these guys. They're doing very well, but they should really get an infantry, an equipment upgrade at some point. Over here then, moving north, I think you should be upgraded really towards better infantry weapons. You should be reinforced, but apparently you can't, so let's move you into the supply depot and hope that that is going to do a little bit for us over there. Over here, let's bring up the army. Ooh, defensive artillery, I didn't see that coming. Yeah, not altogether a very good move. Let's bring these guys around so that they can flank in over there. I think as Nanchang is regaining some of its strength, we will be in a better position over there. Over here we can simply push on Shanghai, I think. Yeah, let's try to clear out the way, pretty much straightforward. I wonder, oh, there's a lake over here that I can't attack through. That's fine, we could circle these guys. Okay, let's do that. Let's bring it down there, you over here. Didn't do much, but that's fine. You're alright, and I guess, you know, since the frontier is so limited, we will bring this corps over here towards the north, so that we can do a little bit more over here. Right, so we have this army cornered over here, and it is starting to lose a lot of supply, so let's try to bring that attack home. Take these guys out if possible. There we go, national morale boost. We can also capture this town and make the front look a little bit nice over here. And then we can also attack this garrison, even though it's winter. I think this is a worthwhile target. There we go. Can we bring up anyone? Could bring up this army, special forces. You could move into there. I think that's a fine choice. Good, very nice. That should increase our potential over here a little bit. I don't think these partisans are relevant for us since we are the liberators, quote unquote. Okay, so what can we do over here? Could attack to absolutely no point whatsoever. Your supply is starting to come down, I think, so that is certainly nice. Yeah, we could generally advance some of these units. Ooh. You know what, that is very tempting. Let's swap out this army. Let's attack the air forces over there. And just simply advance a little bit more towards the enemy. Oh, we could have moved these guys as well. You actually still need to upgrade. So that's fine. bring up the special forces. Let's reinforce this army. And that should be okay. You guys can just manually move up over there. Are you low on supply? No, you're attacked. So that's okay, of course. Does mean we are losing that hex, but I'm fine with that. Good, good, good. Okay, headquarter can move up. Starting to feel a little bit cramped over here. But all in all, that's fine. These engineers. Okay, let's bring them into the town. Let's bring up the engineers. And then slowly but surely we'll be making our way north. That's fine. So over here, I think it might actually be best to cut in over here and start to prevent Beijing from resupplying so that these guys have a little bit better position over there. They're not cut off anymore. They will be under attack, and I suspect that they will be losing. But all in all, it will be good sacrifice. Yeah, good progress over here. Good progress down here. Here, yeah, we did manage to capture Canton, and that is extremely good for us. I wonder, could advance you? Okay, so we need to reinforce you. It's not costing us really anything, so yeah, and then we can swap these guys around later on a little bit. And you should hopefully start to get some supply by that route. And yeah, these guys should really suffer. Good. In East Africa, let's bring up our French troops. Let's bring up our Indian forces. Ever so slowly. Could attack over here. It's not doing much for us. Yeah, our supply is really bad still. Would it be better over here? Yes, it would be. And again, where do we want to position these guys? Still, let's do it. It feels so weird to be so bad at attacking over here. I mean, they are dug in, and if we entrenched, so if we were to attack them, they would start to lose out some capabilities. I'd ideally like to destroy their headquarter unit. That should reduce their supply significantly. Let's do this over here. It's not ideal, but we can bomb them at least a little bit at a time. Oh, you are. No, you're at mixed tactical. Okay. Tactical naval. The supply points is okay, but there, yeah, you need to recover your readiness really. You'll be fine. You're fine. Okay. Very tough going in East Africa. Over here then, the Germans have attacked and appeared. So this is the Afrika Korps Tank Division. It's surprising to me that we can't seem to break these guys. We have the same strength. Our readiness is lower. Our morale is lower. Could bring these guys up. I think that might be the best idea. How's your readiness? 62. Okay, let's withdraw these guys. Bring up the anti-tank guns. Notice how horrible we would be losing against the tanks over there. So let's bomb them a little bit with our battleships. Does reduce their their morale at least a little bit. It's okay then. The army here should theoretically be upgraded, but can't seem to do that right now. Yeah, supply situation is really bad over here. Who are you actually covering? Ah, you're not covering the tanks. That definitely is a mistake. Bring up the artillery a little bit. Could strafe some tanks. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, interceptors, interesting. Yeah, but they lost a lot more than we did, so that's a very good result, I think, for us. Yeah, still. Okay, let's bring you up. Special forces. Can at least you could come over here. Yeah, but you are not ready. Okay, that's better. Still difficult to get the Italians to commit over here. Heavy cruiser, we could come down here and bob some guys. Oh, we could actually... What would that mean? Yeah, that's nice. Good result, actually. Could bring in the light cruise as well. But I don't think we'll be able to destroy these guys. So yeah, that's going to be fine. Okay, North Atlantic. We do know that there was a submarine at the very least over there. So we're going to bring you over towards the patrol pattern like such. You're going to try to intercept anyone over there. These destroyers... Well, I guess these destroyers can come really down here. That should cover the entire line, yeah. And you can come up like this. And there's no one on our supply lines yet. So we can bring in these battle cruisers. What's over here? Garrison in Manchester. Edinburgh feels kind of exposed. But yeah, let's bring you over into Manchester, depark you over there. And then we have these Canadians ready on that front. And these destroyers likewise can start to hunt for that submarine that we know must be around. Down here, destroyers go towards the south. Heavy cruisers likewise. Don't expect anyone over here. The AI seems to be really reluctant to commit too much towards convoy raiding, which I feel is not entirely historical, but it's maybe the good thing to do, because ultimately just fighting out the war like that is not necessarily in the interest of the Germans. So I think what we can do then is bring one carrier over towards the Mediterranean. Don't think I want to do it like that. Let's bring it over towards these destroyers over here. And then we can come in manually towards this direction. And you know what? We are going to send in... Well, how many forces do we have down here in case they attack? We do have a battleship. We do have a carrier. We do have the heavy cruisers, or the battle cruisers, so we could bring in one battle cruiser, I guess. You need to be reinforced. And we have another battleship, an overstrength battleship. You know what, that's actually enough, I think. So what we could do is bring one battleship along with these heavy cruisers and one carrier group. Let's bring these three ships towards Southeast Asia in an effort to counter the Japanese Navy. Heavy cruisers, destroyers, wanted to be reinforced. This battleship is fine. Light cruisers are fine. No one in the North Sea that I could see. And everyone else here is fine as well. We could try to commit the Germans to attack a little bit their air, or bring their air forces a little bit closer towards over here. But all in all, I don't think that's necessarily doing that much for us. Okay, over here everything seems to be fine then. Yeah, happy with that. Did we move the French? Yes, we did. Good, so that only leaves us with spending some points. I think as India we did... Oh, we can also place some new units. What was that? Oh, the garrison division as the Soviet Union. That's fine. So we are covering against Finland, which I do think is very important. Sebastopol we definitely want to keep. So I think it might make sense to cover some of the important lines that we want to retreat to. like Kiev, so that we don't get outflanked. Maybe Minsk. Minsk I think is fine. So purchase more units as the Soviet Union. No calls over here, so that we are fine against any German attack as far as we can tell. 14 points, I don't think that's enough to upgrade a lot of things. Maybe some garrisons, these are fine. These could be upgraded, like these. Yeah, let's upgrade them. That's fine, yeah. No points left. We should take into account the engineers though. So I guess we can simply swap these guys. Set mode, fortify towards the west of course. And likewise you guys get down here. I think this is a little bit overexposed, so you know what? We are gonna bring you guys over here. And the AA guns just directly behind that line. And you likewise are gonna fortify towards the west. That's okay. Would like to defend Tarnopol right now, that doesn't seem to be too feasible. So we are gonna pull up a little bit towards the back over there. Yeah, I really think we have way too few units. Which might be due to the fact that I overcommitted on the research as the USSR, but I do think infantry warfare is extremely important, as are infantry weapons. And we might actually be able to get to a new level of infantry weapons as the USSR. So, diplomacy, what are we doing? We are influencing the USA, we are influencing the USSR. We could be spending one more point. We are also influencing Yugoslavia, which I think is alright. Or do we want to simply buy more units as the UK? How far are we ahead on production technology? We're not actually researching that anymore, so might be fine to do that now. We are getting a new route. We are getting anti-submarine warfare soon-ish. I guess we should be spending more on advanced fighters, and likely on command and control. Oh, you should be upgraded. Long range weapons, yes, certainly. Certainly for the bombers it's extremely important to have a long range, especially for the naval bombers. Purchase something as the UK. Mechanized forces might be very nice. Tanks, any sort of bombers, carriers. I'm still tempted to try and attack Norway, so that the Germans do get lower supplies from over here. Secondary supply, Oslo capital. Secondary supply over there. It would threaten them. We could also try to influence Sweden so that they don't get any supplies from over there anymore. And they might actually be helping us. An attack on Oslo early next year. We do have some special forces. We do have the Canadians over here, a corps. What we need, I think, is an army actually as the UK. And we could spend the British Expeditionary Forces to get that relatively cheaply. 30 points for mobility. I think mobility is a key issue. Still, let's do that. Yeah, we can reform these guys. And you know what? We should actually be able to reinforce another corps over here. Yeah, the first corps. For relatively cheap money. So yeah, that's fine. Does leave us with relatively few points. We should be upgrading some of or reinforcing some of these units down here, which curiously enough we can't. We do have the Australians, though. And we do have some New Zealand guys, which we should probably bring over towards rallying against the Japanese at some point. Bring these guys into the port over there. At some point we will be able to upgrade you. Yeah, we could bring up these forces towards defending against the Japanese, but for now I think we are fine over there. The US, let's save up our points. India, I think we wanted to buy a headquarter unit ideally as India, but we still can't quite afford that, so it's a little bit unfortunate. As China, there's nothing in particular that I do want to buy as China, except maybe some fighters or some bombers. Could go for some tactical bombers in the long term. Light cruisers, I don't think that's worthwhile. Light tanks might be nice to start pushing into Manchuria. We also, I think, need to garrison some of these ports lest they attack there. So some garrison units might actually be useful. Did we lose any? We did not. 50 points. You know what? Let's hold off on that for now. Let's keep some of these points going for us, and we will see whether that will do us any good in the meantime. Good. So we do have a couple of minutes left. So what I would actually like to look at is the reports over here. So we can see the Germans have, as far as I can read that is sort of the number of units. The Germans do have quite an advantage even to war over the USSR, which I find very, very discerning. How does the German income look like? Yeah, not too good actually, but it's going to be difficult to disrupt them over there. We can also see the convoys. You can see we've been doing fairly well in defending our convoys. I find the most interesting bits though are firstly national morale. It's relatively okay for the UK, even though France collapsed of course at some point. France itself is fine. Everyone else seems to be fine. China is very interesting. So we are now above 100. And likewise you can see Japan sort of going down, down, down. Germans are pretty much at the height of their morale. So we'll have to see about that. We can also look at the income that we have. It's sort of a little bit wiggly over here, but what you can see is that our collected income, this is our rate on the French forces, or was left of the French, but you can see that we are spending more and more on units, sort of the blue line as the UK, while we are losing a little bit less. This was of course the Battle of France. You should also be able to see that we are spending quite a little bit less on research now. We did so quite a bit in the past. We are spending a little bit more on diplomacy, but all in all it mostly goes towards units. You should also be able to see that most of the income of the French actually was spent on replacing some losses. And I think that's a little bit unfortunate, because maybe I should have invested a little bit into R&D. Likewise, you can see the Soviet Union is starting to build up forces only in May 1940, and before that it was spending a lot of R&D, of its points on R&D. You should also be able to see that Japan overall is spending quite a bit on unit replacements. Yeah, 10,000 points on unit replacements, just 2,000 points on R&D. It's not necessarily only replacements, it's also new units. Whereas the UK really spent a lot. Oh no, sorry. They lost 10,000 points worth of units while spending 3,000 on that. That's very good. We can also have a look at Germany. They lost about 4,000. They are in theory coming down a little bit over here, but they are also spending massively in R&D. 2,000 points. That's more than I spent as the UK. That's really a lot. I'm really afraid that they are gonna trash the Soviet Union over here. They have more units. They seem to be more capable units as well. So we'll have to see. Next time it's gonna be March, and I think at that point I will very aggressively start to upgrade these units rather than building new ones. Simply so that they are capable of holding out a little bit better at least. That being said, I think now is a very fine place to put in a cut. I'm very happy to have totally eliminated that pocket over here. Very interested to see whether the Japanese will stabilize over here now that they are in a little bit better supply. Down here I think they will be in a worse position as we go. And here it will be difficult because they do have a lot of units and they are very close to their center of supply now. You can see some of them even have 5 supply. But yeah, we'll have to see about that next time. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.